Morning, folks.
It's a real thing.
The Edge Morning Show.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Welcome to the Edge Morning Show.
With Chris Knight, Eric Johnson, Fox 2's Faust, and Tabitha Hassell.
The Edge starts now.
Good morning, everyone.
Happy Tuesday.
Are you excited for the show?
Show.
Friends, our show is going to be a blast. But the show is bad.
Okay, we haven't even started yet.
Okay, well, let's get it started then.
First things first. First things first.
I need coffee. Extra strong.
Something entertaining is happening. Hey, get ready.
Ready for what?
It's showtime!
Hey guys, welcome to The Edge. Eric Johnson will be here shortly. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. You know, it's got that weird feeling in the St. Louis area this morning when it comes to the weather, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like tornado,
sucks.
like a tornado feel.
Yeah.
But that's all right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be awesome in Missouri. Awesome.
I can't wait.
High 80s, sunshine. This is what we've been waiting for.
Did I see 90s over the weekend?
Maybe 89, 90, 90. We've been waiting for it, and it finally comes this weekend, so happy about that. Hey, welcome to the show. It's Jury today. No matter where you're listening, we appreciate you joining us. As always, let's get it started this morning, rocking and rolling the fastest 2 hours of radio. Share the show, 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. You can also give us a call, 636-695-2915. And as always, you can stream us at viperrocks.com. All right, Chris, good morning. How are you doing? Tabitha, how are you guys up to?
I had my amp coffee this morning. I'm happy.
Have you gone all the way through it yet?
Oh, no. Oh, a little goes a long way.
All right.
A little goes a long way. I only use half a scoop.
I got a feeling it's going to be a weird morning. Number one, we get ready to start the show. We got word that a pilot ejected from a plane. Was it at Mid-America?
Mid-America Airport out of an F-15. There was actually a crash, and he was ejected.
Did the F-15 crash?
Yes.
That's a serious plane.
It is. That's why I said I didn't know they had F-15s at Mid-America.
That's expensive.
It is.
I was like, uh-oh.
And he is injured. It didn't say to what degree.
Chris, have you ever ejected from a plane or anything? Have you ever had to jump from a helicopter with a parachute?
No, and I can't say that I want to.
Oh, come on. Why not?
One of these days, Chris is going to take me on a helicopter ride. I've never been in a helicopter.
Nor have I.
Man, that is so hard to believe.
I know you offered to take me somewhere a couple times. Maybe it was the lake or so. I just couldn't make it work, but we'll do it. Can we do a helicopter tomorrow? Oh, you're not going to be here. That's right.
That's right.
He's
going
gonna-
to Florida.
He's taking his helicopter
Chris is
to
going to be
Florida.
gone for a few days. He's not taking his helicopter to Florida.
Take too long.
That would take a long time. Eric's going to be gone Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. So we're working on some surprise guest for you for the Morning Edge. Brendan Shanahan will be in for Chris. Appreciate everybody joining us this morning. That was crazy. And then speaking of crazy, and I use the word crazy because this woman says she's crazy. I was looking at some stories this morning. Did you see the woman who faked a wedding to get back at her ex?
I did not. I did not, but that's pretty darn funny.
Woo! Yeah, she was a scorned lover who faked it. Then she put it out on TikTok that it was all a fake video, or that it was a fake wedding.
Now, why did she do this? Did she?
Because she said, "Yep, I'm crazy."
Well, she obviously is, but did
she wanted to get back at her former
But how would
love.
that get back with him if he broke
Because
it off
she-
with her? Why does he care if she gets married? He's probably glad for her.
Well, who knows? People do crazy things.
They do.
We always know that. As Poison said, every rose has its thorn.
That it does.
Right, Chris?
Some more than others.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Hey,
for sure.
coming up at 8:20, we're having some fun today. We appreciate you guys joining the show. All right, at 8:20, Tabitha, you ask and you shall receive. We get Dallas Thompson with the Missouri Highway Patrol to talk about all the nutso drivers all over the place.
I can't wait.
Okay.
I cannot wait.
I bet it's gotten a whole lot better out there.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not better.
Also, more of a serious topic, too. There's calls from officials now, and I don't know what else MHP can do, but we'll talk to them about it, for safety to lessen crime and gun violence on highways, specifically Highway 70. There's a big story on fox2now.com about that as well. So we're going to get into that. A couple other irons in the fire so to speak, to talk about today as well. Also, it was interesting, Tabitha. You know what we're also going to do? We're going to talk to a member of law enforcement today. I can't tell you what part he is in, but he's going to give us a call.
Anonymously?
Yeah, at 8:40 or 9 o'clock.
Good.
To talk about what's going on. We had Brian Williams, Senator Brian Williams, on yesterday. You said you heard from people, correct?
I did. I had several law enforcement friends that contacted me that
Several?
were several, more than 5.
That listened to the show?
That listened to the show, who were very upset about Senator Williams' comments.
What specifically?
Specifically that he just doesn't understand what's going on. I mean, he actually said that part of the problem we have is people carrying concealed carry weapons legally, that they're out shooting. Who are these people shooting? I would really like to know. And about the fact that we need to reform police. We don't need to reform police. We need to reform people. We need to tell people to comply. The people are the ones that need to be reformed, not police. Not all police, anyway.
Interesting.
Police are being demonized. I think we all know that. These are our heroes. They go to work every day to save our lives. Who do we call when we have a problem? We call 911, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, we do.
And we're saying these are the people who are the enemy these days. And they're not the enemy.
Well, we're going to talk with a member of law enforcement a little bit later today. And it's a big topic. We've got other things to get to. For example, today, we'll have a segment. Not sure exactly what time we'll get to it. President Biden, I don't know. I don't get this, whether we have gotten the vaccine or whether we haven't gotten the vaccine. I don't know why he's telling people, and this is the headline, Joe Biden tells those who have not gotten vaccinated, quote, you're going to pay a price. What does he mean by that?
I think he's trying to continue the fear campaign that if you don't it's get vaccinated or else.
So we're going to get into that. I mean, when you look at the amount of people who've been vaccinated, and we'll get in, the VAERS reporting from the CDC is now reporting about 4,000 deaths, just almost 4,500 deaths, but about just over 100,000 problems though too, quote, those injured. So that's another big topic as well. But that kind of surprised me. Unfortunately, the Blues last night got beat in Colorado. Yes, I stayed up to watch it. Can't stand the West Coast games or that West Coast
It's
time.
so late at night.
9 o'clock was the start time last night. Tomorrow night, 9:30, even later. So that's an issue, these late starts. But the Blues tried. Jordan Bennington was absolutely amazing. He's the Blues goalie, by the way. You might have heard of him.
I have heard the name, yes. I've met him a few times.
Colorado had over 50 shots. The Blues lose 4-1. They got an empty net goal late in the game. It would have been 9-1 if Jordan Bennington wasn't amazing as he is. Hopefully we get back David Perron. He's still out because of, quote, in protocol for apparently getting COVID after being fully vaccinated. The second Blues player in as many weeks from that situation. Okay, here we go. So we've got Dallas Thompson with the Missouri Highway Patrol at 8:20 to talk about the highway situation. At 8:40, you're going to hear from a member of law enforcement who deals with some of the most violent situations you can imagine when it comes to policing. Not only in the St. Louis area, but all across the country.
I can't wait.
He's going to be calling at 8:40 to talk about what happens in a situation when you try to apprehend, when you try to arrest or bring somebody into custody that does not want to come into custody, who does not want to, what's the word, Tabitha?
Comply.
Who does not want to comply. You won't want to miss that.
I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, that's coming up at 8:40. You're going to get some real firsthand experience or some knowledge of what's actually been happening from that standpoint. Of course, share the show, 100.7 The Viper. We love it when you do. We appreciate it as we go from there. All right, Chris, how was your day yesterday?
It was
Anything
great.
updated? Anything to update?
Not really. Kind of quiet for me. How about you?
Same old, same old. Working. Before I get into that, I wanted to remind everybody, check out Facebook if you haven't yet. How do you like the new look? The edge, the box, the headlines, the graphics package, it's all in there. Just think back, Chris, when we were the war on COVID, We didn't have the Edge sign behind us. We didn't have these cool graphics. We didn't have the Edge on the box. You didn't have...
We didn't have anything but a microphone.
Slowly but surely. And if you like the show, make sure people know about it. And, of course, share it. One other thing. Last night, and I think it was good to talk about it, I sat down with Tashara Jones, St. Louis City Mayor. Jane Duker, who's been on the show here before to talk with us. She represents the St. Louis City Police Department. She's their legal representation about the whole idea to cut the 98 vacant jobs. That story's on fox2now.com. A lot of people probably didn't see it last night because it ran right as the Blues were playing. And we've seen from ratings right now when the Blues are playing, everybody's watching the Blues.
Right.
That
makes sense.
It does. Some of the highlights from that, Tashara said that this wasn't some quick, rash decision, that they've been looking at cutting police for a while because those jobs have been open for over 10 years. The residency rule didn't help attract people.
No.
So they've got an issue. On the other side, Jane Duker and the St. Louis Police Department say, well, the money that's going to be cut because they were using $4 million, that was the total for those jobs, to pay overtime for officers to actually cover shifts. So, well, that overtime money is going away. She says shifts aren't going to be covered.
Good. I hope they're not covered. I really do.
But Tashara says most of these calls don't need police. They can be handled.
Don't. We don't need police.
By the social workers.
Of course
and
they can.
Apparently there's been, quote, success in Miami, in Dallas, and a couple other places where they have implemented it, which is the only reason why they're trying it in St. Louis, because nothing else has worked.
I can't wait. I mean, what was it yesterday? I can't remember what city where 2 police officers were shot. Coming to a domestic violence situation. It was not in the state of Missouri.
A domestic violence situation, a social worker would not call. If it's getting loud and crazy, a 911 operator would not send them first. An officer would go first. But Tashara's like, listen,
what officer? I mean, they're not going to be working.
But here's the other point that Tashara brought up. She's like, has doing it the old way made us safer? No. She's like, we're not as safe. And she's like, I'm hearing from the African-American community where I live in North St. Louis. I don't know what Lewis Reed, who voted against this, by the way, the Board of Aldermen president, voted against cutting the positions. She's like, the people that live in North St. Louis or me, they want somebody to answer their 911 calls, and that's where the social workers can help answer the calls, where we get more people in who are ready to go and they can actually hire, where they can't hire police because nobody wants to do the job.
Okay, well, why don't they try doing it right the first time? The problem is we've never done it right. We don't know what right looks like because we've never had a fully staffed St. Louis City Police Department.
Well,
we don't know what it's like to have it right.
In 2000, the year 2000, 21 years ago, we had 1,400 St. Louis City police officers. Now there's 1,200. So they lost.
And population has grown. Crime has escalated.
Population hasn't grown.
Population in St. Louis City hasn't grown?
Oh, no.
So in the past 22 years?
No, it's fallen big time. Yeah, that's another issue they're having to deal with right now, is the fact that St. Louis City is under 300,000 people.
What do you know what it was back then?
I don't know exactly, but it continues to fall. Under 300,000 St. Louis City. The other thing, St. Louis City has more, or at least has more police officer involved deaths per capita than any other city in America. So they're using those stats as well. But you don't get the full story.
No.
What happened? What was being done? What did the suspect or person who ended up getting killed do? You got to look at
I can tell you what they did. They didn't comply.
The story before you get that. So it was a big, I mean, it's an interesting story. Jane says that the city never even gave the police department a seat at the table to discuss, and she's worried about moving forward. She thinks that there's going to be mayhem.
There is going to be mayhem, and people, if you live in the city, it's time to move.
Well, we're on right now a trajectory to pass last year's record total per capita. Last year was a 50-year high, however, since they started keeping the track. But the problem was the murders the homicides that we had last year, most of them have gone unsolved.
Of course they have.
And this year we're on a trajectory for a higher rate, a higher number of murders in the city. And of course it affects St. Louis County, and then which will eventually affect St. Louis City or St. Charles County, because we've seen a lot of the crime that has come into the side as well. So From viewer who knows who texted me, who knows the population in the city. In 2011, 10 years ago, it was 318,000 people in the city. Now it's at about 298. So you're
not a huge difference. 298 to what, 315? 315,000?
No, we went from 318 in 2011
right.
to about 297, 298 right now.
That's not too bad. Too bad of a difference.
You're losing. You're not gaining.
True. I mean, and it's going to get so much worse.
And
how many were murdered out of that lot?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it continues to
Half
go.
of those people were probably killed,
No, it
not
continues
moved.
to go down. Oh shoot, we got to take a break. Hey Chris, we got to take a break, my friend. We got to talk in here. When we come back from this break, we're going to talk with Missouri Highway Patrol PIO Dallas Thompson. You won't want to miss this. If you have any questions, let us know. Let us know on the Facebook line. 100.7 The Viper. We'll find out what's going on our highways right now, plus talk about some of the violence and the shootings. We'll also get into 2 murders that happened Saturday night that police now say are connected. This could end up being a national story. It's sad for these families, but it is such a tragic and bizarre story as well. A lot to get to this morning. Eric Johnson will be here. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2 back right after this on The Edge.
BMW, Dodge, and Nissan, as well as new RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of used RVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted truck and Jeep Wrangler in the market. Travers Automotive and RV in their newest location, I-70 at TR Hughes. Online at traversautoandrv.com. Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies. For over 40 years, your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000, on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com. Bentley's Marine and Electronics is open in Lake St. Louis and ready to serve you. Check out their marine section for boat accessories, marine audio, water floats and supplies. Upgrade your vehicle with a new stereo, amp, speakers, reverse camera, remote start, and more. And don't forget the home theater. Shop local with confidence and let Bentley's Marine and Electronics show you that they meet or beat the big box stores. On Lake St. Louis Boulevard across from Denny's. Online at Bentley'sElectronics.com and on Facebook at Bentley's Marine and Electronics.
Weber Chevrolet has been in business since 1902. No other car dealer in St. Louis of any brand can say that. Nobody sells more Chevrolet, period. Weber Chevrolet is one dealer with 3 roofs. In Missouri at Olive and 270, and in Illinois Metro East, Columbia, and Granite City. All easy to get to, just follow the 270 loop. Also, all online accessible at WeberChevrolet.com. Right now, Weber Chevrolet is open but very thorough in their cleaning, disinfecting, and social distancing rules. And don't forget, Weber Chevrolet service departments are award-winning and second to none. In fact, other dealers send their problems to Weber Chevy to fix. Now during this crisis, Weber Chevrolet has teamed up with Detroit to come up with awesome deals to help people save money and manage their budget. Discounts, incentives, and the ability to not make your payment for up to 4 months. Weber Chevrolet since 1902, WeberChevrolet.com.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to The Edge. Happy Tuesday morning, May 18th, 8:24. Eric Johnson will be here at some point. Chris Knight's here. Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Coming up at 8:40, we're going to hear from a member of law enforcement who deals in some of the most volatile situations you can imagine, to give a perspective of what it's like for police trying to arrest, apprehend, take somebody into custody. Because yesterday we had Missouri Senator Brian Williams on speaking about new police reform that was passed, and crime bill that was passed in the state, bipartisan, by the way. But we've never really had somebody talk about what it's like to actually go into some of these situations, and he deals in some volatile situations, to say the least. At this point in time, we bring on our friend of the show, Dallas Thompson, Missouri Highway Patrol. Dallas, thanks for taking some time to join us this morning. You guys aren't busy, right?
I'm sorry. Good morning.
Hey, Dallas, good morning. Glad that you're joining us this morning. Hey, right out of the gate, everybody's driving real safe these days, right? Everything's changed and everybody's slowed down on the roads, right?
Well, according to our crash numbers, that's not a correct statement.
Yeah, I know. I was being sarcastic. Tabitha had been begging to get you back on the show. We try to have you on the show all the time. Last time we had you on, you gave us a snapshot of people driving, some people, not all people, even excess speeds of 150 miles an hour and then pulling over, not even trying to.
They drive as fast as they can. That's what they do.
So what are the roads like these days?
Not a whole lot's changed. We're still seeing that every day. Troopers are still reporting to us that they're stopping vehicles at 90 mile an hour plus, in excess of 100 miles per hour. It's just a common daily occurrence that people still don't seem to understand how dangerous that is. We've been working diligently in all of the St. Louis area, St. Charles area, working overtime projects and putting more troopers out in certain areas at certain times of the day, just trying to have a good visual presence so hopefully people just see, our fully marked patrol cars out there and voluntarily slow down. But that doesn't even seem to work. They'll drive right up alongside a trooper and just keep on going. The trooper may be driving the speed limit and that car will blow by him at 20, 30 mile an hour over close to speed limit and not even bat an eye at him.
Do they see you think, on the road, or are they just doing it on purpose?
Sometimes I think they do see us and just, don't care and just keep on going. And other times they'll go by us and we'll look over at them as they're driving by and they're texting on their phone, doing something other dangerous inside the vehicle like that that's distracting them from the roadway. And at those speeds, that's a deadly combination.
Wow. It just blows my mind. Another big topic, Dallas, is the fact. Tabitha, did you want to jump on that topic?
About speeding?
The drivers?
I sure do.
Jump in. I gave you a chance.
I was waiting for Eric to talk, and he didn't. So
no, we'll go ahead.
I want to point out,
right
Dallas, is that I drive, as I've said before on this show, a Jeep Wrangler, okay? I can't drive over 65 miles per hour if I wanted to. I challenge anyone out there, if you want to know how dangerous the highways are, try actually driving these speed limits, and you can see how people fly past you and swerve in front of you and come up behind you. People drive on my bumper. I'm going the speed limit in the far right-hand lane where I belong, and people are right on my bumper. They want me to go 100 miles per hour.
No.
And I'm so frustrated about it. The other day on my way home, I work in anti-piracy outside of the radio station. On my way home, I was seriously almost in 3 different car accidents. People drive as fast as they can, and it's dangerous, and it makes me sick.
Yeah, but I've seen you drive before.
I
Tabitha.
drive slow.
Who can,
I have a Jeep. What can I do?
He can't
I drive
respond to
a
that. He can't
Coca-Cola
respond to that.
can.
Yeah, you don't worry about her.
But Dallas, what are we going to do? How are we going to slow people down?
We know I had a conversation yesterday with our commanding officer here at Troop C about what else can we do to try to combat this. We're doing overtime projects. We're adding different additional troopers at certain times of the day on certain roadways where we know we have these serious crashes and we're seeing these high speeds. And we're doing all that, and we're still seeing a high number of fatality crashes. We're still seeing people driving at those high speeds. So we're going to continue doing our part to try to combat it, and we're just going to have to keep trying to come up with new ways, new innovative ways to try to get people to slow down. Just me coming on here and talking now, maybe someone's listening. Maybe that'll make them think what they're doing, as they're listening, and realize that they may be driving too fast.
I guarantee
we're
you.
definitely going to be.
You're
we're
absolutely
gonna be trying
right.
to get to schools and talk to our young drivers, and really drive home the importance of safe driving with those people.
That's right. You got to start young.
Educating and enforcing the laws, and just hope for the best that people will eventually just start to slow down.
So you listen to this song "I Can't Drive 55" by Sammy Hagar. Remember that song? Well, there's no such thing as 55 miles an hour anymore. So I have a theory about all of this. I think when you have high performance cars, you can go off of any car lot right now, drive any car. They're so quick, they're so fast, they're so powerful that people will get used to this 70 mile an hour limit that you're on the highways. Like, well, screw, this is great. And then they bump that up to 75, 80 miles an hour on the highway, because what's 10 miles an hour more? This isn't like
people are driving as fast as they can, Eric, as fast as they possibly can.
But it's all relative to kind of where the speed limit is on the highway. And
it's like 60 and 65 in many places in
correct.
Missouri.
And then Dallas is right. You throw in texting on top of that, which these kids think that is completely okay to do. Man, that is a complete disaster waiting to happen. So, I think it's just these more high-performance cars. It's the speed limits that have been raised up. It's the texting, which is not against the law, I don't think. Is it against the law?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, it's not against the law if you're over the age of 21.
If an officer sees you texting, I thought it was illegal. It's not?
No. If he sees you texting and you're still keeping that vehicle under control and in between the lines and obeying the other traffic laws, it's not illegal to text and drive if you're 22 years of age or older.
That's just in Illinois. Sorry, I got confused.
In Illinois you can't text and drive.
And the congestion on the highways is worse now than it's ever been.
Dallas,
also.
but you know what? With the speed that's out there, you know what? Here, I am what I am. I put it out there. I've looked at my speedometer at certain times when I'm driving, and I found myself going like 15 miles over.
Yes.
On high.
Yes.
I'm guilty, and I apologize. But I was like, damn, I'm driving with traffic, and I look down, and I'm like, holy crap.
That's exactly right.
And I don't even realize it.
Yeah, you're on the highway.
You're just following along with traffic and don't realize that. And also, these cars nowadays, they're so luxurious, you don't realize, they ride so
exactly.
Speed, you don't realize that you might be doing 70 when the speed limit's 55.
I just got back from...
Especially if you drive a lot of highways where 70 is the speed limit, and you're used to driving that, and then you go on a more rural area where it's 55, you're used to driving that. You know what 70 feels like, and you just don't realize that you shouldn't be driving that fast.
It's funny that he mentions that, because I go back and forth to the lake all the time, right? Mm-hmm. Usually I'm taking like my truck. So when you're going kind of fast, like 70, 75, it feels like the fenders are going to fall off this thing, right?
Depends on the vehicle.
So I get a BMW, and I'm going to the lake just 2 weeks ago, because they were putting a new roof on. I look down, and I'm doing like 93 miles an hour.
Okay.
And I would have...
Don't tell Dallas that. What's wrong with you? You're going to get a citation.
I would have lost a lot of money if I would have bet somebody, because I thought, there is no way. This car has to be wrong. I'm not doing 93 miles an hour. That's how smooth.
Let me one up you for a second, Dallas. I was same thing. I was going to Kansas City last week and said, not his BMW, but my own BMW. And I was, like they said, I was pacing the traffic, right? I was about 85 miles an hour between here and Columbia, Missouri. A trooper passed us like we were butter, and there were no lights on. He was just gone. And I was thinking, man, not only are the public cruising, the trooper was just like gone. I mean, he had to be doing 90 miles an hour to pass us. So I think it's just it. Now, I guess this is a question to you. Is it just the mentality, if you're safe on the highways, especially 70 and 40 and 55, if you're safe going that speed, do you give us a pass a little bit?
And well, speed limit is the speed limit. So I can't really say what troopers will do if they stop you for driving 5, 10, 15 mile an hour over post the speed limit. It's just going to, they may take into account the type of roadway it is and how much traffic's on the road at the time. If they want, maybe the attitude of the driver themselves. Whenever they're stopped and speaking with them. But as far as that trooper that passed you there, I would hope that he was responding to some type of a call somewhere that he needed to get there. But if he was driving the speeds you're saying, I would like to think he would have had his emergency lights on while doing so. So I can't really speak for that trooper himself as he was doing that. But as far as giving warnings and stuff, we get a lot of discretion on what we write a ticket for and don't write a ticket for. So it's just up to the individual trooper. I've heard some say they'll give a warning for 5, 10 over, and others, speed limit's a speed limit. So it just kind of depends on the trooper.
Dallas, we're talking with Dallas Thompson from the Missouri Highway Patrol. Hey, if somebody calls on another driver, does Missouri Highway Patrol call, or will they try to find somebody? Someone says, "Hey, I see this driver doing this or doing that, or this driver did this to me."
Absolutely, and we encourage people to call us when they see dangerous driving. We might have a trooper within a couple of miles from that area that can get over there and maybe stop them from driving as unsafe as they are. The Highway Patrol, we have a star 55 from your cell phone, and that'll get you to the nearest Highway Patrol headquarters anywhere in the
Star
state
50, I didn't even know that. Star 55 takes you to Highway Patrol.
That is interesting.
Yes.
I knew that and I forgot.
So if you find yourself in an emergency or broke down side of the road, you can call that. Or if you witness someone just driving, 100 miles per hour and being unsafe, making unsafe lane changes, feel free to call Star 55 and report that to us, and we'll definitely get a trooper started that way. Or hopefully we've got one in the area that can get there and try to find them and get them to slow down.
Wow. So can we shift gears? Can we talk about what's going on with the shootings in 70? And you know what? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But the highway from the airport downtown is just littered with potholes. I mean, it's almost undrivable down there now.
Well, that's MoDOT.
It's MoDOT, but it's just a mucky mess of crap.
We're talking about shootings.
Are you talking about shootings or potholes?
I'm talking about shootings, potholes. It's just, are they ever going to fix Highway 70 between the airport and St. Louis?
And shootings-wise.
Yeah,
he talks to shooting.
Yeah.
Forget the potholes, Dallas.
As far as the highway maintenance goes, that's a question for MoDOT.
That's MoDOT. That's right.
They will do what they can as quickly as they can. I know we get a little aggravated whenever we hit those potholes and think these roadways should be a little better.
Well, it keeps people from aiming properly, I guess, when they're pointing a gun out of another car. I guess that's a good thing.
We're not only seeing those kind of violent crimes on 70, we're also seeing them on 270, 170, 370, 367.
What?
It's not just that stretch of highway. Yeah, 70 from the airport down into downtown, it seems the last couple of years has gotten more and more violent. And we are trying to do our part to help combat that as far as some overtime projects and patrolling those areas. But we're not just focusing on there. Like I said, we've got them out in St. Louis County on 270 and different interstates that those violent crimes are happening. And again, it's just like the things we're doing with speed enforcement. We're trying to do overtime projects, have more officers out at certain times of the day whenever we hear that these crimes are occurring, and hoping that just our visual presence there is going to be enough to deter these types of crimes from occurring.
Hey, Dallas, I know that we have a problem with rolling gun battles and people getting caught in crossfire, but I did my own study. This was back in 2015. Maybe things have changed since then. And I feel like a lot of these highway shootings are targeted shootings, or the people have an idea who they are or they think they do. Because back then, I took a look at all of the cars and the vehicles that were being shot at. Most of them were Challengers, Chargers, Camaros, Chrysler 300s. And that gave me an idea that maybe some of these highway shootings are gang-related.
A lot of them might be. It might be like that turf war kind of thing. You're in my area, you shouldn't be, get out of here. We used to hear about those, especially in movies and stuff back in the 80s and early 90s about gangs and turf wars. It could be stuff related to that. It could be drug deals gone bad. It could be road rage. It could be domestic violence. We haven't been able to really come up with a definitive answer of what's causing these and what the motives are on all of them.
It's just
so many of them go unsolved.
It's just odd to me that
a lot of the victims might get shot and just injured and go to the hospital, but they don't want to give us much information.
It just seems odd to me.
they don't talk much to us to give us much help to solve a lot of these crimes.
Right. Well, I hope you guys do a study.
It's hard for us to really correlate what the answer is to that.
Well, I hope you guys do a study and look at the vehicles
Tell you what,
that
it
belong
seems
to the
like,
victims.
So let me just. I'm running for mayor in a couple of years. Whenever Tashar
Mayor
is
of
done
what? Mayor of what?
St.
St.
Louis,
Louis.
and
Okay.
Actually, I'm running for mayor of St. Louis,
Well, you're
St. Louis
not
County,
going
and St.
to.
Charles.
You're not going to. Oh, you're going to be.
It's going to be a regional
you're
mayor.
Be leading the merger.
Right. So here's my thing. Why don't we put high definition cameras everywhere we can, like we do street lights, and at least we'll have the ability to see who shot what and what car that maybe came from. Is that maybe a plan of attack? Could we do something like that?
It could be. I don't know what the cost for an infrastructure like that would run.
Biden will give you $1 trillion. Don't worry about that.
Barrick, they voted down the spy plane in the city of St. Louis. I don't think they actually want to solve crime in the city.
Well, that's a shame because seems like it's a solvable kind of crime.
Tabitha. Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They just may not be going about it the way that you would want to.
Or any way possible. No, they're not. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. It seems like that we could do some things to have a deterrent, at least, for these kind of crimes. And it's getting worse. And one thing we've learned about St. Louis trends, Dallas, is that when it starts to go up, it's hard to get it to go back down. And so I see the next 10 years from now being very challenging for you guys.
And I agree with what you're saying there. And I said all we can do is do our part as far as what the Highway Patrol is doing. We try to be visual, try to be seen out there. Hopefully that's going to be a voluntary deterrent for people. I know we'll be enforcing criminal laws and traffic laws, and trying to educate people.
And you guys do a great job.
We can do. Yeah, that's the things that we can do on our end. It's up to people to just be better people and not want to commit crimes like this and not want to hurt people and shoot other people. So, it's a lot of it's just a culture thing we're seeing right now, and we just got to hope that passes by here quickly.
Dallas, before we let you go right now, we do appreciate and thank you for your service. Any messages to send out? Did you want to put out a recruit? I know at one point you guys were looking for officers. Any sorts of messages you want to get out there?
Yeah, absolutely. We're still looking for troopers. Anybody wants to be interested in a job with the Highway Patrol, they can go to our website and go to the careers tab. We're always taking applications for the troopers, but we also have other positions that's open. We are constantly looking for commercial vehicle officers, those men and women that work out at our scale houses on the interstates. We're short-handed in that area as well. So if you don't want to be an actual trooper but still like to have a career with the patrol, you can look into that. We have driver's examiners, motor vehicle inspectors, a lot of clerical staff. So anybody, always check out our website. We've always got job postings. So we'd be happy to have anybody to come apply and join our team. And also, we, not this weekend, but next weekend is going to be Memorial Day weekend starting. So we know a lot more people is going to be able to travel for vacations this year. And we're going to expect to see an increase in traffic on our roadways. So we just want people to plan out their trips, watch for road construction, narrowed lanes, and slow down and eliminate those distractions. And over the weekend, if you're having a good time at the lake or at parties or whatever, don't get impaired by drugs or alcohol and get behind the wheel. And just want to encourage everyone to make sure that they're wearing those seatbelts, because about 70% of our fatal crashes this year have been unbuckled. So
wow.
That's a lot of lives that may have been saved if they just taken a minute to put on that seatbelt.
Dallas, thanks again for your time, man. You're one of the best in the business at what you do. We appreciate it. We'll check back in with you, all right?
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Safety and safe travels for all the men and women at the Missouri Highway Patrol. Love catching up with Dallas. We've got another guest now. We talked about, and we go seamlessly right through this, what it's like for officers dealing in some of the most violent situations when you're trying to take somebody into custody, apprehend somebody, arrest somebody who doesn't want to be arrested. Well, we've got a new law in the books now when the governor signs it. We talked with Missouri Senator Brian Williams yesterday with the new crime bill in the state and, police reform, so to speak. Well, it is interesting. We thought it would be interesting to talk to a member of law enforcement locally who deals with some of the most violent people, not only in our area, but other areas as well, what it's like. So I know you don't want to give your name, and we don't want to give your name. But if you, first of all, welcome to the show. Second of all, what's it like these days in the line of work that you do dealing with people who don't want to comply?
It's chaotic, to say the least. I work for the federal government, and our agency's mission is to seek out and arrest the most violent criminals that are out there, the worst of the worst, essentially, and committing gun crimes, armed drug traffickers, robbery crews, home invasion crews, just active shooters. But I'm also tasked with being a member of our tactical team, which goes and conducts search warrants and arrest warrants on those subjects. So it is, to say the least, a challenge, especially with this climate, this environment these days.
So this is St. Louis, correct? You're in St. Louis.
I'm stationed out of St. Louis. However, travel coast to coast as part of that tactical team to conduct those operations for the individuals that have arrest warrants, or if our case agents have search warrants on their residences or properties, we go and execute those warrants.
So this
make the scene safe for them.
So this, not black ops. I don't know what to say. I mean, part of the FBI, CIA. Can you say what part of the?
Well, he's trying to remain anonymous. So
Yeah, that was.
why don't we just talk
God,
about
this is going to be
police
so
issues?
hard. This is
It's
gonna
not
be
that hard.
It's not that. How many? You have to have a bazillion questions. I do. So,
Go ahead.
So hurry up and ask your
Tabitha.
question.
It's within the Department of Justice for the federal government.
Okay, that's awesome. So I guess that you've seen a lot of playtime here in St. Louis. How is it going here in St. Louis, and what kind of activity are you guys really focusing on?
Yeah, so St. Louis, obviously, we have our fair share of violent crime, and we have partnerships with St. Louis County and St. Louis City as far as any and all means that we can use, or different investigative ideas that we can use, or tactics that we can use to try and curb the violence. But obviously, you got to have the backing of the prosecutors as well, which luckily we do on the federal side. But I know on the state side, it's not as they don't have as much of that luxury. So it's a challenge, especially for the local guys. But yeah, I'm actually just now getting back into it. 'Cause, I know you guys were asking about taking into custody someone that doesn't want to be in custody. I'm actually just now getting back to work after about a year of being off, because I was shot in the line of duty last summer while executing one of those search warrants on one of a known violent drug distributor, out on the East Coast. So obviously it goes to show you, and I've learned firsthand that it does happen, and these guys don't go peacefully if they've got their mind made up that they don't want to go to prison or go to jail, most of which have already been in there at least one or several times.
It's a very dangerous.
They're going to fight
Exactly.
until get what they need.
I'm curious what you think about the banning of chokeholds. Yesterday we had Missouri Senator Brian Williams on the show, and he was talking about police reform and banning chokeholds unless it's a life or death situation for the officer. And the way I see it, and what I pointed out to Senator Williams, is that, in my opinion, anytime someone resists arrest, that is a life or death situation for you, because that means they are willing to do anything they can to get away. And that includes killing you or someone else in the community. I'm just curious what you think about that.
Absolutely. I mean, our agency, we don't necessarily train on chokeholds per se, but when you're in a fight or a violent encounter with someone that doesn't want to go to jail or comply with the orders that are given by a law enforcement officer, police officer, federal agent, whoever it may be, then there's obviously the likelihood that that's going to escalate, and you have no idea when that subject is going to stop. So you obviously are in the fight for your life, and you better fight like that every single time, because you have no idea what their intentions are. We've got to play by the rules, and they don't.
So
I mean, if it's a situation where that person comes out on top, literally and figuratively, in that fight, and then they can have access to your weapon or whatever, then obviously that's a whole new ball game. So you got to do whatever you can do to survive that encounter.
So you are a little bit more. You're not in the public's eye like, let's say, the St. Louis Police Department or the Minneapolis Police Department. You guys are a federal agency. Do you guys do they have the same spotlight on you? So if a George Floyd situation came about, are you under those same scrutinies, or are you kind of just like you're a little bit more invisible to the public? So if you did have to use lethal force, it might kind of go under the rug a little bit.
Yeah, we're not a uniformed police department. We're more of in a covert fashion, unless it's time to do an enforcement action, meaning unless it's time that we need to go conduct an arrest, search warrant, then obviously we're overt, wearing police insignia, all that stuff, tactical. We do our uniform and we do the warrants and all that. So yeah, I mean, on a daily basis, we're not driving around in marked police cars or wearing uniforms or anything like that. We're the only time that we're in those uniforms are more obvious as law enforcement is when we're actually conducting those operations.
We're talking with a member of local law enforcement who also works across the country, told us he works from a federal standpoint. When it comes to the situations you're seeing, I'm not sure how long you've been doing this job. I'm curious how much of violence you've seen amped up, not only the violence amped up, but the weapons and the kind of crime that you're starting to see, or has it gone up or has it been the same for however long you've been working in law enforcement?
No, I've been doing this going on my 22nd year, and it has definitely gone up. I think a huge part of that is, I know it's referred to as the Ferguson effect, but in 2014, and I think from that point on is when things really started to go sideways, and the whole anti-law enforcement sentiment began. And it's just insane these days that shooting at a policeman is no longer a big deal.
Wow!
Unless you're the police officer, and it is very real. I mean, to the point that when even like I was saying, when we're in uniform, you've got to have your head on a swivel that much more these days than what you used to, because there's no regard for that badge anymore.
Is the attrition worse now than it was back in the past? As far as your officers, are you noticing that they're like, I've had enough of this, I'm out. Public doesn't support us, so what's the purpose?
For our agency specifically, I wouldn't say so much, but I can speak, from my own standpoint. I'm not. I've always been one that would say I would go till our mandatory retirement age, which is 57, and I can go as early as 4 years from now, and and I could go and potentially 10, but I'm at the point now with being what it is after having been shot and having a family of realizing no, it's not worth it, and that I'm probably gonna retire as soon as I can, which is in about 4 years, as opposed to sticking it out.
I want to point out that when a police officer encounters a suspect, which happens millions of times every single day, very few of these incidents turn out to be where an officer shoots and kills the suspect. And in my opinion, and what the statistics I've read, is 99.999% of the time, if a suspect is killed at the hands of police, it is because they have resisted arrest and they have put the officer's life in danger, because that automatically obviously comes with resisting arrest. So why do we have this false narrative that police are just out there wanting to shoot and kill unarmed people? Why do people have this message out there that it's okay to resist arrest if they fear you?
Right. No, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a great point, and I've said that multiple times, is in all of these, or the vast majority, like you're saying, the 99.9% of all these encounters that resulted in a shooting or a death, one thing that would have alleviated the entire thing is if that subject had been compliant, took some accountability for what the stop was for, whether it be expired plates or they knew that the subject had a warrant. And at the end of the day, had they not resisted or they had complied with the commands of the officer, they would still be here today.
But how do we get that messaging out there?
That's a great question. To me, the media is a huge part in it, and I think the reason that you hear about the shootings that you do, it's something that is getting pushed through the media.
Yeah,
you probably all don't want to hear that. It's not not directed at you,
Vic,
by any means, but there's definitely media outlets out there that's all.
Hey, this guy, who do you think knows our guest?
Exactly.
It's me.
Because you know what? They're not talking about the 45 plus police officers that have been shot and killed this year, are they? Since 2021 started.
Here's a great question from Facebook. You have a perspective of being in different cities. How does St. Louis rank as far as the danger scale goes?
Oh, we're definitely at the top.
The creme de la creme.
There's no doubt in my mind. I'm in Chicago, Baltimore, those cities that are on the top 10 charts every single year, and it's we were definitely right there in it. I mean, guys that I work with on our tech team, that when they come to this town, they're just kind of in awe when they see how this place is and the violence. And I'll just give you for instance, back in June when we had a civil unrest here, our team was here, and just hearing gunfire all over the place, right around our staging location. It's nonstop here.
Wow.
I can't imagine how dangerous that would be to serve warrants.
We used to be known for beer, and now we're known for crime.
Right. Right.
Unbelievable.
Hey, before you go to, I would just, you said that you were shot. I just want people to get an idea of what it's like if these criminals are not being taken off the streets and what men and women are doing. How did you get shot? What is a day in a life like that? Because I'm sure every time you go into a situation, you have an opportunity to be shot or your life come to an end.
Right. And it's one of those things that I think every one of us that, wears the badge every day, walks out the door knowing that there's that possibility, but at the same time, you got to mentally prepare for that stuff. And also, I would say the vast majority of us always think that, hey, it's not going to be me. And that day when I got shot, unbeknownst to me, it was me. And not even realizing I'd been shot, I took the round in my vest and it deflected into my shoulder. But luckily, it wasn't life-threatening. I was able to get to the hospital and get treated and released later that day. But, yeah, it's one of those things that you don't expect that is going to happen to you, but you just got to have your head right and know what you're going to do in the event that it does happen. So, and just try and get back in the saddle, which is what I'm doing, and try and get back out there and get through it. So,
Eric, one more question. You have time? One more question?
I got a million questions. I mean, it's just the Facebook line is asking a ton of questions. Another one.
We just got about a minute left.
You were shot. How many of your other teammates have been shot? How many of that you know? I mean, that's a fraternity of police officers. It seems like where you guys go out and have beers. The guys that have been shot that you know. How many do you actually associate with?
Right. Yeah. There's a small group within our agency that I associate with. We kind of talk once every couple of weeks just to kind of air it out because we've got that in common now and to kind of help each other out. It's not. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm one of those types that would always said that it's not going to screw with me mentally, but it does. It's one of those things that that's where you kind of lean on your other partners that have gone through the same type of thing, and you realize that hey, it's normal, and you just kind of help each other get through it. So, because trust me, I realize it could be a heck of a lot worse, and I just thrive on the fact that it wasn't, and and just count my blessings, I guess, so to speak. So.
Hey, well, thank you again for your service. Thank you for sharing some of this information. We'll get you back on. You've been very, very popular with our listeners and with our viewers as well. So, Godspeed to you and your family and the men and women who do the job that you do from a federal standpoint, not only here but across the country.
Thank you guys for having me, and thanks for the support.
You got it. Member of local law enforcement there, guys. We're going to talk more about this, too. It just blows your mind. It's always good to get a perspective of things that we don't know.
And these guys love what they do. And they know that risk.
Men and women.
They still go back and do it, put the badge on. And man, we live in the #1, baby. #1 crime-ridden city in the country. You gotta like that.
You can imagine getting up and talking about taking rounds. Yeah, I took a round.
What happened today at work here? No, I went and had a donut and I was shot at today. Anyway, what's on TV? How do you do that, man? How do you do that?
It's crazy. Hey, that's 1 hour. Told you fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio round. We're going to come right back with your morning headlines and also talk about, we'll finish up on what's going on here. Plus, what's going on. Stores are opening up, guys. No mask. We'll get into it all. A lot more stores are. And did you see what's happening in Texas? Nobody's dying anymore.
What?
COVID cases nationally are down. What? Did you see a new update?
I hope that you use this in your update coming up, but we're under 200.
Yeah, you say it too. It's insane. It's
wow.
COVID is poof, gone.
It's dead. You guys were right.
It's gone. Back with more Edge after this. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust to Fox 2.
The Viper.
Experience golf courses from around the world with a trip to Cottleville. That's right, at Benediction Golf in Cottleville, you can virtually play Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, Sawgrass, Augusta, or one of hundreds of other courses around the world at their comfortable indoor facility on Highway N by Rack House. It's BYOB and bays are only $50 an hour, so bring a foursome and compete. Or check your swing with the SkyTrax launch monitor and shot analytics in real time. Benediction Golf, BenedictionGolf.com on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, is that a Q2 or a Q3 expense?
Dwayne's CPA went MIA.
To keep his books and his sanity, he needs to find a replacement ASAP.
Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of a fungible good?
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
An important message from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. During this unprecedented time in our world, we want to emphasize our commitment to continue delivering reliable power while keeping our members and employees safe. Our linemen are taking precautions to stay socially distanced. Other employees are working from home. Although we've adjusted our operations, we want you to know that we are still here and we will continue to keep the lights on. For more, visit quiver.com or call us at 1-800-392-3709. Quiver River Electric, a Touchtone Energy Cooperative.
Wake up. The Edge Morning Show.
Contractors Flooring Supply is your open to the public U.S. Corette, Casabella, Neptune, Nova, Metroflor, and Mohawk waterproof flooring specialist. 12 mil wear layers with premium pad attached at $247 per square foot. 20 mil at $297 a square foot. Nylon residential super dense carpet is just $287 per square foot installed over 8-pound lifetime Mohawk cushion. Dreamweaver Frisee carpet at 99 cents a square foot. Contractors Flooring next to New World King in Warrington.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Remember the beautiful pop and hiss listening to a brand new vinyl album? The warmth in the air, the magic of the sound. Vinyl can't be replaced, and vinyl is back. TheFinestVibes.com sells thousands of premium and collector's vinyl with hundreds of albums under $20, delivered straight to your door. Leonard Skinner, Bob Dylan, The Beatles, Prince, AC/DC, Queen, Frank Sinatra. TheFinestVibes.com has them all. Shop now. TheFinestVibes.com. Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Viper weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray with my Tuesday forecast. Same old, same old. Clouds control. No all-day rains, but there will be scattered showers and a couple of scattered non-severe thunderstorms. Breezy. 75 for the high. Tonight, clouds dominate. Limited showers, though, this evening and overnight. 65 Wednesday. Still lots of clouds around. Breezy with some scattered showers and a couple of non-severe thunderstorms. Near 80 degrees. We're going to be pushing 85 on Thursday. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
Quiver River Electric, a Touchstone Energy Cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey, time for your morning headlines at 9:01 on this May 18th, Tuesday. Okay, the Blues lost the first game of the playoffs last night. They hung with Colorado. It's clear Colorado was a better team, more athletic, more talented. But the Blues had a chance late in the third period to tie the game on a power play. They couldn't. They were down 2-1. They end up losing 4-1. But anytime you give up 50 shots, they gave up 50 shots. You got issues. Blues really have their work cut out for them. This Colorado team is absolutely amazing. I hope to God Ryan Riley doesn't eat his words. Ryan O'Reilly, our captain, who on Friday said, we're going to beat them. We'll see what happens. Cardinals had the day off. They begin a series with the Pirates today at Busch Stadium. Hopefully the weather holds out so they can get that game in tonight. Cardinals are in first place and hopefully should be hungry and better after getting swept by the Padres in San Diego over the weekend. How about some good news? MoDOT says they're going to spend the money the $38+ million to repair I-70 interchange, that curve, so that's going to be replaced now. Elliot Davis was on that. They're going to take care of that, hopefully sooner rather than later. But anybody that's traveled that area knows how bad it is over there. The United States approved yesterday $735 million sale of weapons to Israel. President Joe Biden getting bashed by progressive liberals for saying that he's supporting Israel, and that the United States is supporting Israel. So some problems even within his own party there when it comes to the support for Israel. And speaking of Israel, they launched a new airstrike this morning in Gaza City. That continues to go back and forth, the situation there with no end in sight, really, from what we can see right now. Also, from a St. Louis standpoint, 2 murders Saturday night. We'll talk about this, too. One on Del Mar near Clayton, the other one at Bonefish Grill and the Jury Inn in Brentwood, right on Brentwood Boulevard, are connected. Forensics have linked the 2 murders. Outside of that, we don't know whether somebody's trying to steal a car, if it was a hit. We'll talk more about that. That's Look at Your Morning Headlines.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to The Edge, everybody, with Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Every time you play this music, Chris, the beginning of it reminds me of that Marilyn Manson song.
Oh, yeah?
This is not Marilyn. Dimebag Darrell would be rolling over in his grave right now.
But I'm saying the first few notes.
Yeah, I
it
can
sounds
see that.
exactly like
I can see that.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
The beautiful people. I remember I heard that first time. I was like, what the is that?
Yeah, Dimebag would throw his guitar through that wall if he heard you say that, though. Just saying.
Hey, guys, happy Tuesday. Appreciate everybody joining us. First hour went by really fast. Thanks again to Dallas Thompson with the Missouri Highway Patrol, talking about just how crazy nutty drivers continue to be throughout the state of Missouri. He offered some advice, of course, Memorial Day weekend coming up, and everybody trying to stay as safe as possible. Then we just had a member of the law enforcement who works in a federal government job going after some of the most violent people in our country, explaining what it's like to work that
Would
job.
he be considered a ghost? You know when they call the federal agents ghosts? It's like, you don't even know they're...
No.
You know what I'm talking about? You can turn
You would call him
Tabitha on.
you know what agency is with Tabitha. You wouldn't call him a ghost.
He is not a ghost.
He's
no.
not a ghost.
He is somebody who's probably part of a multi-agency task force that serves
But
warrants.
you know what I'm saying? You never see NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt with television crews on the FBI, CIA, any of our federal agencies. It's always these local podunk dudes.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Who's a local podunk?
We've been working
The
to try
Chauvin guy. You never see a Chauvin incident.
Well, we've been trying to work this out, and the gentleman that we had on the call was trying to help me get embedded with them to do a story.
Oh, that'd
with
be
this
awesome.
group. And we never got clearance. We weren't told no, but we weren't told yes. But it's something I'll go back where, you would maybe see me with them at some point in time.
Would you do a ride along?
You don't really do a ride along with these guys.
Oh, you don't?
You go out with them. Ride along's more like police. So anyway, we're going to talk more about that. We got a lot of subjects to get to, but we got to take a call because this gentleman's been on the phone for about 30 minutes.
A long time, yes.
So at least 30 minutes. So I think we've got Donnie on the phone, if I have that right. And then Donnie, if it's not your name, I apologize. What have you been so patiently waiting to talk to us about? Because apparently you're passionate about it.
I just wanted to sound off a little bit about replacing police with social workers. I have a little bit of experience with that. My wife has been a social worker for going on 20 years. She was actually an investigator for Missouri Children's Services out of North County for about 7 years. And there were a lot of instances where she would call for police support before going to do just a wellness check in a home, because either the home was in such a bad area or the parents, one of the parents had, some sort of a bad criminal history or, a real preponderance for violence. You can't replace police with social workers. I can see a place for social workers, maybe EMTs, to supplement and work with police. I can see where, in a case like George Floyd or a case like Eric Garner, where as soon as everybody knew that the situation was going south and he was going to resist, maybe you call for a supplement backup to be able to be on scene and evaluate the situation as it's ongoing. Maybe a social worker to
I don't
come
think you have
in
time
and
to do that.
assist with de-escalation while the situation is ongoing. But you can't replace the police with people who call for police to supplement their job.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. You know, I think that the problem that we're having here is maybe the word. We're going to hire social workers, because every time I think of that, I think of a camp counselor, you know, that has a little clipboard and a whistle around their neck saying, okay, because that's not going to...
No, the people they're talking about are a little different. They're qualified mental health professionals. I actually worked with my wife in a residential facility for a few years when I got out of the Army. And we worked with kids anywhere from 12 to 18. There were a lot of instances where we would have to restrain these children. They were behavior disordered. They were very highly sexualized. They were violent. They tried to run away a lot. And there were a lot of instances where 2 or 3 of us would have to restrain one child. And there were a few instances where the child was so violent that we would have to call for police to take the child away. And once again, you know, these are professional people who are used to dealing with violent people who escalate very quickly, and these people are not rational.
Right.
When you escalate like that, you're not being rational. You're being completely irrational. And so rational processes don't work so well with someone who's being irrational.
I see a lot of people getting killed in this thing.
Donnie, thank you again for your phone call. We appreciate you taking the time and being patient to talk to us. It is another perspective.
One other thing real quick, though.
Yep.
It's also quite irrational, man. You know, I loved you guys right up until the point where you compared Pantera to Marilyn Manson. Bro, you just went into
that wasn't me, man. Dude.
Whoa. Did you not hear? Yeah, Eric even said, you know what? I can see what you're saying. What it was the first 2 notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those first 2 notes. If you go play that song, The Beautiful People, and you play the song we just played, it's almost identical, the first couple notes.
Vic,
you've got to wait for the 3rd note.
Don't worry about
that. Yeah, I'm just saying it's the first 2, baby. Da-da.
Just because a Cessna has wings doesn't make it a fighter jet.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
And before you go, Donnie, thank you for serving our country.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, Donnie, have a great day. Appreciate you
take care.
listening to The Viper. Of course, you can share the show at 100.7 The Viper. We appreciate the calls all the time. Once again, the phone number 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915.
He was very patient waiting.
No, he was. But here's the thing. The social worker aspect, Tashara told me in the story we had, it's on fox2now.com. She wants to hire 15 to 20 more social workers to help out. They had about 98 jobs that that they were eliminating.
Yeah.
That's about $4 million. $4 million was put to other places because it was just sitting there.
Yep.
The police department, nobody's losing a job, but they're not getting these extra officers.
Right.
But her point is, we haven't been working with these officers for 12 years anyway, and nobody's coming.
When you were, and I haven't seen the interview, I'm not privy to it right now, but did you ask Tashara, you have the opportunity to make this region safer with a budget that will get you 100 new officers. I understand the politics of this thing, but we are the #1 most crime-ridden city in the country. You are the new mayor. How do you rectify those 2 things? You are thinking that a social worker is going to fix this problem? Question, and then just leave it.
Yeah, well,
did you ask
in
her?
a roundabout way? But she's like, police have not fixed the problem, Eric.
Maybe there's not enough police. Maybe
they've never done it right.
Said that we can't get, but that's just what I just got done saying. They can't get police, and for 12 years, it's just sitting there doing the same thing
and not
over
on
and
that
over.
pay, not on those benefits, and
that's
not
the
with
problem.
those
and
living
there's not,
restrictions.
And where are you going to get more money? And where are you going to get more money? There's no more money.
Right.
That's the problem they have.
Come work in the most dangerous city in the entire country, literally, where police are shot at every single day in the city of St. Louis for this amount of pay, and you're going to work overtime all the time, and you're going to be in these crazy situations.
Yeah,
Who
do
would
your
want to
job,
do
and
it?
you might have to go to jail.
And that
morale
too.
is, according to the morale is very bad on one side, but Tashar's other side is, listen, citizens here want to feel safe, and they tell me they're tired of St. Louis being the #1 city in America for police-involved deaths. And so then you have this, you have the research that's working in these other cities. But one of the things I said at the end was, so I guess the record will speak for itself in time. And she's like, absolutely. She's like, we will be able to look and see if St. Louis is safer by doing this or not.
It's not going to work.
So she said she's not running from it. She's like, this is a decision I've made. I care about this city. I live here. I've lived here my whole life.
Did you? Yeah.
And this is what
it's not going to work. And I'm sorry, but the social worker situation
on the outside
is not going to
you
work.
would think less police doesn't mean more safety. You wouldn't.
It doesn't.
Now, her issue was it frees police up to do their jobs, but this is where there's a disconnect. The police department says they're not just going to send a social worker without police. Tashara says they will send a social worker without police if that call is deemed safe by a 911 operator.
Okay, now there's a big problem right there.
What does that mean?
How does a 911 operator know how to
they're not
escalate
they
so
want to
quickly?
be able to get to more 911 calls quickly because right now they're not getting to all the calls.
What calls is a social worker going to answer? Because we know that
And keep in
suicide
mind,
calls are dangerous.
I had 2.5 minutes to do a piece. Okay, and we're talking about hour-long
Well,
topics.
Did you have
Of
a chance to
course.
ask her about her relationship with Kim Gardner and say, do you like the way that she's throwing
Because
these criminals
that's a
back
whole-
out on the streets?
That's a whole nother story.
Did she say what
But we
types of
already
calls?
know that they have a strong connection because they've done press conferences together.
Not good.
And Kim Gardner supported her publicly.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good. Did they say what kind of calls they're going to send social workers out on?
Yes.
Because I'm very curious.
Non-violent calls that don't seem, quote,
But what
as
would
if,
be a non-violent call?
Hold on a second. But Jane Duker with the representation for St. Louis City Police say an officer's still going to have to go there first, deem it safe, then the social worker stays and deals with the situation, then the officer gets to leave. So
you're
don't
still
have to deal
tying
with
up a
these
police
calls.
officer.
That's Jane's point, is that you're not lessening the work, you're
No.
actually giving them more work.
Correct.
So you have two sides telling two different stories.
And how
right
many
now.
times does someone call 911 when it's not a threatening emergency?
Never. What if Tabitha Hassell showed up at your door?
Actually, they get more of those calls than you'd think.
And I guess that's possible.
Because they say
a
people-
cat's in my tree, send out the social worker.
Yeah, and what we're being, quote, told is when police arrive, because of the generations of the thought of what police represent in St. Louis, we don't live in St. Louis. We're not African American. When police arrive, they escalate situations. Not necessarily that the police are doing it, just the presence of police being there escalates and people
it's
get
so fun.
nervous and scared. This is what they're saying. This isn't Vic.
It's unbelievable
This
you
is
said
what
that.
Vic says what they're saying.
I understand. You just said, we don't live in St. Louis. We're not African American. I never equated St.Louis with African American residents.
Well, this is what Tashara
Ever.
and that part was about. I say,
So she's catering to the African Americans and not
Louis
the entire community?
No, the question was, Louis Reed
Yeah.
says African Americans in St. Louis want more police.
Exactly.
Which is what he told us on this radio show.
Yeah.
She said, the African Americans I talked to that live in my neighborhood, North St. Louis, they're tired of being shot and killed, and they want somebody to answer 911 calls. And when police show up and they're not trained to deal with mental health issues, they only escalate the situation.
That's not their job. Their job is to look at a house with maybe 4 kids in it and say, I have got to separate these two one way or another. That's really their job. And when you have 2 people who are violent already, and Tabitha Hassell with the word social worker shows up
Well,
at your
you can't use me. You can't use me as
Why?
an example because I actually work in the realm of law enforcement. I detain people all
Nobody
the
would
time.
be afraid of you without a weapon.
You might
Nobody
be
would be afraid of you without a
detain
weapon.
people all the time, and people
I would
obviously
detain-
are
I would
afraid of me.
Detain people.
Come on.
who
Pirating
don't-
movies.
You detain people who don't
Hey,
comply.
it's a
who
dangerous
comply.
job too.
Tabitha,
Look, I'm
if
not-
I
somebody
didn't-
detained
Tabitha.
somebody in the middle of the woods
I'm
a
not-
week ago.
I'm not being disrespectful.
Here we
oh
go.
my God.
Here we
Come
go.
on. Man. Help me out, Chris.
Hit the record button. Here we go.
If Tabitha, if you were
Tabitha,
you, wait.
I'm not trying to be mean. You're a sweet little lady. If you tried
Yes,
to detain me,
sweet
I'd
little
probably
lady.
laugh.
Yes.
Or like do the old caveman thing and hit
and
you
then
on top.
you'd go to prison.
No, you wouldn't. That's the point.
Who's
You
gonna
would.
detain me?
You would not
the
go
FBI.
to prison.
Are you kidding me? Yes, you would. I work in law enforcement too, and I have
So
as
you
much
think you could take
right
Vic
to
down?
detain
Do you think
someone as
if-
any police officer does.
If Vic was raging right now,
I
you
would
think
do
you
my
could-
best. Yes, I would.
No,
you
no,
you
no,
think
you
I
would-
wouldn't? Yes,
you
I
would
would.
do your
I gotta
best.
see this.
You guys have no idea what I'm capable of.
You're not a,
You
you're
have
not
no
a ninja.
idea what I'm capable
You're
of.
not a ninja.
Oh
If
my-
I weren't
I am-
capable of it, I wouldn't be able to
I'm
do the
scared.
job that I'm doing.
I want to see you take Vic
you know,
down right
we-
now.
How did we get to this?
I've been doing this business for almost 20
Vic, you're
years
missing
now.
my point.
Yeah.
You're missing my point. If Tabitha showed up with social worker on her shirt, I'm
But
here
a
because
social
someone just
worker
called
is not
911.
I want to hear. I want
in
to hear.
detaining
I want to hear
someone.
Eric though. I want to hear Eric.
If she showed up with 911 call and all of a sudden that, hi, social worker St. Louis, can I come in, please? I just got a call from the police department saying there's a problem here. There's a 280-pound guy in there, and there's a 5'1" lady that's being terrorized. Your job is to settle that 280-pounder down. If he doesn't, you need to make him comply and take him with you somewhere to get him out of the house. I don't see that going very well.
I don't see it going very well either because
But, however,
a
if-
social worker's not trained to do that. They're not police officers.
That's what the calls would be. That's where an officer gets in trouble. You're not hearing
I
me.
agree with you.
The
No, I
officers
agree with
get
you
in trouble.
completely.
The officers get in trouble when said 270-pound gentleman comes at them with a knife. And then they have to retaliate and take him out with a pistol. That's what they're trained to do. That's where the problems happen. So this little fantasy utopia that they're trying to put together down in St. Louis
I
is going
agree
to
with you.
end tragically.
It is going to end tragically.
You know what, Tashara? She has a strike one-ish, strike half with the not funding the 100 police officers. We'll see how that goes. I want to give her the benefit of the
But
doubt,
keep
man.
in mind, she won the election, and I have a strong feeling from people that I talk to in all of these communities that they're going to like the job she does.
Okay.
And she's going to.
Man, that's awesome.
And
I hope.
And she's only about 25 days in. So as she said, she at that point in time, she said, hey, I'm only 21 days in, Vic. She's like, give me some time.
That's what Biden said too, but go ahead.
And she's like, give me some time. And then that's how the interview ended. I'm like, okay, well, I guess the record will speak for itself, won't it? She's like, yeah, it will. And she's like, we know and we care about the city. That's why we live here, and we're trying to do the best for it.
Maybe they'll rally around
approach.
her. Maybe they'll rally around this lady. Maybe they will. Maybe they didn't see eye to eye with Lyda Cruz. And
We're going to find out one way or the other, aren't we?
yeah, and I think that Biden tried to do the same crap. He comes in with these ridiculous, policies, and it's like, just give me a shot. My first 100 days, I'll take care of everything. No, you've destroyed everything. Jobs are down. Pipelines are not being built. Israel and the Palestinians are firing rockets at each other. Can I go on? Okay, taxes. Biden is a complete disaster. Immigration. We have to ask our mayor of St. Louis, you have one job, man, right now. This is the most dangerous city in the United States.
Well, it's the most important job. She has a multitude of jobs, but her main job is crime.
You think?
It was the number one issue for election, and it's the number one thing that has to be done.
I'm noticing a lot of
And
Amazon buildings going up all over the place. Not in St. Louis, I'm not, because it's not safe.
And this is the number one thing that she'll be judged on right now. But guess what? It doesn't matter what people who live in the county think, or St. Charles County, or Jefferson County, or the Metro East. It only matters to the people who live in St. Louis City, who are citizens, and who voted either for her or for Kara Spencer. That's all that matters. The unfortunate thing is if you don't agree with her, if you see St. Louis deteriorate even more, then that can affect the region, as we've already seen.
Yeah, but what do you do? Still, at that point, what do you do?
Seen it.
Do you have to come over and have Parsons come over and
This
say,
isn't
that's it, I'm taking over?
St. Louis City isn't a quick fix, and it's not just a quick fix with one area. There's several areas. Now, there is $500 million of federal funding coming to St. Louis to use over the next 2 years. That's vital. You said yesterday that you like Tashara's plan for reinvesting
I do.
in North St. Louis and South St. Louis. I like some of those ideas as well. The problem always goes back to the elephant in the room. Invest away.
Yes.
Invest all you want. But if the murders and homicides and shootings don't go down, it won't matter if you put $10 billion in. If the shootings are still there, the bullets are still flying, people are not going to.
And we need to ask her about the spy plane.
That's a whole
that we've
noth-
talked to
Yeah,
Cedric Redmond about.
We can. I've got so many stories.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. Because to me, that's a very important tool in solving crime in St. Louis.
It could be. Well, in your
if it's
opinion,
utilized correctly.
In your opinion,
Correct,
it
in
is.
my opinion.
But not everybody thinks that.
Well,
in the
because a lot of
city.
people don't want to be surveilled.
Yeah, and they feel as if
But to me, if
it's
it
too
says
late.
lies,
It's too late for that. It's too late for that.
I think they're going to vote for that again in June.
That's too late for that. There needs to be a threshold. If you don't want to be surveilled, take care of your own community, like what are the neighborhood watches, and if you guys can handle it, fantastic. But if you guys put a city in this much jeopardy, and I am not a 1984 guy, guys. I do not, that Orwellian stuff,
You believe
I
in
hate it.
tranquilizer guns for police officers.
It would work. How about, wait a minute. I thought about this too. What if you put tranquilizer bullets in your hand, which would
like
shake?
Spider-Man?
Yes. Okay, moving on to COVID.
Well,
Did you see the look that
Vic's
Vic just
face
gave me?
Is priceless. Yes, it
How
is.
would you like to put someone to sleep instead of kill them? That's all I'm
So
saying.
instead of giving me a chokehold, you touch them with your hand that's full of tranquilizer medication.
Remember those little buzzers that you would those little practical joke buzzards? What if you had like a little bullet with a little syringe on it and you shook their hand and boom, they're asleep.
And the bullet goes off how now?
You just
what
press
kind of
it.
contraption
You just
is
press
this
it
you
and
have going on?
it goes through
Can
the
I
syringe.
use if I find one? Can I use it against you and see what happens?
Only if you videotape it and send it to our law enforcement officials and say, "Look how good this worked."
That's right, Ted, but I still don't believe when you say that you had to tase somebody in the woods.
I didn't tase anyone. I
a
said
week ago.
detain someone.
Okay.
I can't go into the
Listen,
specifics because
you're
of my
not
job.
gonna-
You can't go into the specifics
You're not
because you
going
got
to detain anybody that doesn't want to comply.
And neither can police. I agree completely. People will fight and they
No,
will do their
there
best to
are
get away.
police
No, I'm not going to
officers-
shoot anyone.
Tabitha, there are police officers who contain your little itty bitty. You're not
Do
going
you
to
know
be
how many?
detaining people.
So are you saying that women? I think that sounds sexist. So you're saying that women shouldn't work in law enforcement
It's
or
a matter-
shouldn't be
He's not
talking
police
about-
officers?
No, it's a matter of physics.
What about all
I'm
of
not
the
going
women?
down your rabbit hole. You know
what
as well
about
as I do what I
all
meant.
of the women who work in police?
There's a ton of
and
great,
work in law enforcement.
Yeah, but that's not the same, Tabitha. That there are certain things you can do.
Don't
and
be
there
offended.
are certain things you can't do. Just like
Yes.
there are men. There are certain men. Who
I agree.
can't
Physically,
detain.
we're different, but there's
This
a lot
isn't
of
about
really
anybody
such a
else.
great debate.
women
This is
that
about
work in law
Tabitha.
enforcement.
This is Tabitha.
It's about
This is about you, somebody who I know.
Yes.
You're not detaining anybody. That
You-
doesn't
No,
want
you're
to
not.
detain.
You know what? That's okay.
And I find that very offensive, quite
Don't
honestly.
be offended. I'm going to give you
You should be sorry.
I'm going to give you an
because it's
analogy.
sexist and
I'm
it's
going to give you an
misogynistic.
analogy. I'm going to give you an analogy.
And I do a great job.
Hold on. No one said you don't do a good job. Here's an
Vic
analogy.
is saying I don't do a
Here's
good
an
job. He
analogy.
says I'm not capable of doing my
Here
job.
is an analogy.
And I've been doing this job for nearly 20 years.
Hold on. I want you to, because I'm about to make you go, yeah, that actually makes sense. If I was playing football and some coach put me as a defensive cornerback and they said, there's Isaac Bruce on the other side of that line, do you think I would be able to cover him? Not just no, but hell no, because he has more athletic ability. He's faster. He knows how to. I could never do that. That's
Tabitha,
what he's
I
saying
know
about
you're
you,
good at
So
Tabitha.
you're saying that
You
women,
can-
Eric, shouldn't work in law
I didn't say-
enforcement because they
No.
can't take care of
That's not what
themselves?
he
That's
said.
not what I said at all.
Then
You're
what is
not-
it? What is it you guys are trying to say? Because I want to remind both of you again that I work in personal protection for top.
Yes, you're getting offended for
celebrities.
nothing. You're getting offended for nothing.
Their lives are
Hold on.
entrusted in me, and I obviously do a good job.
You do a fantastic
and because
job.
I have detained numerous people.
What Vic?
And yes, somebody could shoot and kill me. Somebody could fight me, and things like this have happened.
Hey, Tabitha.
We've all been punched. We've all
what
been in
Vic
fights.
is saying,
things have happened.
you go to North St. Louis because you like
I
the
don't
idea
go
of
to
the
North St. Louis.
Hold
That's not the
on.
type of work I do.
Don't get so
I
offended.
didn't say North St. Louis.
Don't get so offended. Anywhere.
I am
Arnold. I don't
offended.
care. Arnold, Missouri. There you go. If you get called over there and there is a husband and wife and kids,
That's not the type of job I do.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what he's talking about.
I'm talking about the type of work I do.
You do a great job at your job.
But there are plenty of women police officers who work in law
With
enforcement
weapons.
that do go to North St. Louis.
Yeah,
with weapons,
exactly.
with
sometimes,
sidearms.
And sometimes we can use weapons too. It depends on what type of job we're doing.
Not social workers.
I
You
know, but I'm not a social worker. I have no idea what
oh
you're
my
talking
God,
about.
You are literally fighting with yourself right now. What we're talking
I
about.
agree with you on the social workers.
If you showed up at a house trying to de-escalate a situation that didn't want to be de-escalated, you would get killed. You would get your head knocked
If I
into
was
a
a
wall.
social worker, I'm not a social worker. but
Okay,
yes.
my God, we've been having a debate about this for the last half hour about two totally
Well,
different
Vic
things.
was actually talking about me specifically in my specific job. You're
Yeah,
talking about
in
social
a movie,
workers.
in a movie theater, and then I apologize for offending Tabitha because I didn't mean it that way. Because you wouldn't stay in your job for as long as you've been in it and been asked to do all the things.
And I have detained numerous people.
But you told me before you haven't had people who've tried to fight you.
We have had people who have punched our people.
No. I'm not saying our people. I'm saying you.
And I've not been shot.
No, this was you. That's all it meant was you.
Correct. But we have women who have been through this.
I said because, okay, yes, women, but.
The point of the whole thing.
Yeah, and it wasn't an offensive.
Well, that's
thing.
okay, but I find it offensive.
I know, and that's why I apologize to you.
And I accept your apology.
Because I wanted you to know.
She's seeing red right now, I can tell.
No, I'm not.
That
I'm not
Tabitha,
upset.
if somebody my size did not want to comply with you, you're
I
not stopping.
agree.
You're not stopping.
And that would be the same with anyone else that works in any position.
No, that's
Correct.
not true.
But the debate really is interesting because this is the debate. If I go and take a job down with the St. Louis Social Workers Society or whatever they're going to call this thing, and you are undersized and undermanned, you are going to be in jeopardy every time you go and knock on that door of getting the crap
I don't
beat out of you.
disagree that if you're a bigger man who works in law enforcement versus a smaller woman, it is a very different situation. There's no question about it.
Yes, and that's probably what St. Louis is going to do.
That's when it comes down to training and having certain maneuvers and things you can do that it doesn't matter the size difference.
Okay.
And once again, this had nothing to do about police officers or anything else. Tabitha made it about that. It was never about anybody else.
I work in law enforcement.
Yeah, but it was
this
was never about
me.
police officers. This was about you and if somebody twice your size in a movie theater. That's it. I don't know how you drug in police officers and females and you made it about other people. It was never about them. That's why I've sat back quietly. We apologize. I'm glad that you love it. I hope that you never have to deal with anybody that's my size that refuses to comply with you. That's all, because I love you dearly and I care about your health. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we don't want you to see you get killed.
Well, I don't expect
I didn't say that.
to get killed. And anybody who
By the
doesn't
way,
comply
or beat up.
will go to prison, just like they would if they fight
and
a law
that's what you said
enforcement
from the
officer.
start when I first said that. You're
Correct.
like, well, they'll go to prison.
And they
as
would.
they should.
As a federal prison, not a local prison, yes.
That would be see ya. You try to pirate a movie, you're gone.
Yeah.
Hey, okay. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll switch topics. We got to get into what's going on now. Quote, if you don't get your vaccine, you're going to pay a price.
What?
Who said that? Who said that yesterday? A very high-ranking political figure. Your president. We'll also talk about the other places now opening up. No mask.
What's the price? I got to know the price.
I don't know. You're listening to The Edge. Share the
I'm
show.
paying it.
100.7 The Viper. Back right after this with Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell on Vic Faust. It's 9:30.
The new abnormal.
This place is a nut house.
The Edge Morning Show.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter.com/find.
One of the things we're so dependent upon is our automobiles. There's no worse feeling when you go onto your car and it won't start. Oh, man. Tired of trying to find an honest, reliable mechanic for your car and truck? Town and County Garage in Wright City has kept the Westplex on the road since 1972. The biggest compliment to a company is repeat customers and referrals. When you need honest, reliable, and affordable auto repair from inspections, brakes to engine work, call Town and County Garage in Wright City, 636-745-3626.
Are you or a loved one suffering because of an open wound that just won't heal? It could be a few weeks or even years, but you've lived with it too long. For wounds that won't heal, our team of specialists at BJC Healthcare have the advanced tools you need. We'll personalize your wound treatment plan at our Advanced Wound Center on Highway K because healing quickly is your best medicine. Make your appointment today by visiting healyourwounds.org or call 636-928-WELL.
Push dirt and boundaries. Seidenstricker Nobe Partners has great financing, lease, and warranty options on our compact construction equipment. Right now, save up to $2,500 on a brand new John Deere compact track loader with a competitive trade-in. Looking for a partner you can trust? Our dedicated service and sales departments are waiting to help. Seidenstricker Nobe, your partner for the job site. snpartners.com.
Offer valid through 5/31/21. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Fever is a leading symptom of the coronavirus, so take your temperature twice a day with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's quick and easy to use, and its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies. Have your family start and end their day with the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Your family can take their temperatures in seconds to know where they stand in the fight against COVID-19. Protect your family from the spread of this deadly disease and stay safe with Exergen.
Hi, Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Carnection in St. Peters. Right now, we're paying top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. At Bellman Carnection, we'll take anything on trade, van, Jeep, truck. Spring into a quality pre-owned car, truck, Jeep, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in today before someone else buys the one you want. Bellman's Carnection in St. Peters at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
With 24/7 customer service and guaranteed repairs, your Progressive policy works the way it's supposed to. Unlike this stressful meditation guide.
Take a deep breath. Focus on all the things you have to do. Did someone make the vet appointment yet? You don't know? That feels like something you should know.
Switch to Progressive today.
You are a mess.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Repairs through Progressive Network Shops guaranteed for as long as you own or lease your car.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Edge, everybody. We should let you see us talk during the break. There's no doubt. We're already the fastest 2 hours of morning radio. You might as well stay with us through our breaks. We may have to have somebody buzzing words and things of that nature when Tabitha's throwing coffee at us and everything.
Sometimes the break conversation, I am not even smiling at.
Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell.
I'm having fun with this guy that wears eyeliner making fun of me.
Speaking of which, it's kind of,
she's looking for a date.
Well,
I don't date guys that wear eyeliner.
You don't know that.
Eric, you and I are both out. Yeah, you got two guys on the show, Tabitha, who might wear more makeup than you.
That's okay, Tabitha. We're just playing with you.
Welcome back to The Edge. You can share the show 100.7 The Viper. That's on Facebook. You can also give us a call, 636-695-2915. Yeah, Eric and I are always ready to take some makeup tips, so thank you so much. In the break, there was an old police academy video where there was two officers. And our friend Pete sent me a funny picture that kind of shows, if you ever look up police academy, where there's a cop that's like 3 times the size of another little one.
What was his name? The big
Hightower.
Hightower, that's right.
Hightower.
Pete's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Pete, I showed your picture. Sorry, I had to.
Pete's going to be in a lot of trouble. We'll talk later, Pete.
Hey, what's it been like, guys, out and about town? Have you gotten into St. Louis County? What are our listeners and viewers experiencing now? Do you feel naked when you're walking around or going in someplace without your mask on now? Are you afraid? Are people asking you these questions? Well, starting to see what's happening. Schnucks started it, no mask. Deerbergs followed yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Thank God.
Yeah, no mask requirements in Deerbergs either. Lowe's starts tomorrow. No mask in Lowe's.
Okay.
So more and more companies starting to jump on. Then
Target.
Yesterday, our President Biden, said in a press conference, I didn't get this, but here's what he said. COVID cases down in every single state for the first time since it began.
Mm-hmm.
Every state. He's like, we're almost at the end. But then he's like, but if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to pay a price.
With your life.
And I'm like, what does that mean? You're going to pay a price.
Yeah.
You know?
The next syllable was, and there's going to be no passports. No vaccine passports.
No, well,
so
yeah,
what's the
there's
price?
There's no vaccine passports. There's not going to be, never was. You don't have to prove it. You can go wherever you want to go now. I mean, last week the messaging was, hey, if you didn't have the vaccine and you didn't wear a mask, then you're putting yourself at risk, not other people. So the whole messaging changed.
Right.
So that's where we are now. I was just curious what people were starting to think.
I'm not going to lie to you, man.
And
I'm not going to lie to you. For a year, the human mind is a crazy thing. It really is. Because for a year, I've been told if I want to go into this place or that place or this place or the other, you have to wear a mask. And you put this garment over your face. Most people call it a Chinese diaper. And you start to get this sense of security, like, okay, I'm not going to get COVID now. Look at me. I can roam freely. Like
Which are these people?
Like I'm underwater with an aqualung.
Or like Vic's analogy of being in a swimming pool with, what was it, 3 pairs of shorts on?
2 pair of shorts.
No, this summer you could pee in the pool.
Because he's wearing
as long
2
as
bathing
you have
suits.
2 bathing suits on.
And now I am going into these places, and I'm like being defiant on the air, going, I'm not wearing a damn mask. Screw this. The mask is coming off. And I do find myself walking in these places a little bit like,
Please don't tell me you're nervous walking around the store.
Psychologically scarred a little bit. Not a lot. But there is this thing where I'm kind of like, you just got to get used to it again, like jumping in a cold pool. I'm not Rachel Maddow crazy.
Are you scared walking in the store right now
Eric,
without a
you've been
mask
playing
after you've had
concerts in front
COVID?
of
It's great.
thousands of
Yes.
people.
What is going on with you?
No, Vic is right. I have been playing. Platinum Rock Legends has been very fortunate the last year. Every time we play somewhere where there's a bar that says there's no capacity limits here, you just come on in. And we've been there, and we've been doing very well with crowd sizes. And when I walk into those places, I feel no pressure. But for some reason, when I go into a Home Depot, I'm like a little bit tense, and I cannot figure it out. Now I think that'll dissipate between now and the 4th of July. But I'm just saying that's what we're going to all have to go through.
Not me.
Do you wear a mask now?
I have barely worn a mask through COVID unless I've went to Walgreens or somewhere that absolutely forced me to wear one.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just being that's my truth. That's my truth.
Everybody has one.
Yeah.
Well, we're starting. I mean,
I don't want to wear a mask. I'm just saying now that it's coming off, there's this little apprehension.
I feel
That's all it is.
free. I feel so
the
free.
COVID cases are down now.
Yes.
That's and in St. Louis for the first time in a year. We were under 200
amazing.
hospitalizations yesterday. Not only for COVID, but COVID and suspected COVID. They call that suspect. So that was a combo. So it's like going away. And yesterday, as we talked on the show, we were also told and found out that they were changing the testing. The amplification is going to be different now as well. So you're going to see less, quote, COVID cases. So, my, oh my. And then Boston, by the way, Boston Red Sox, 100% capacity next week.
Awesome.
It's like, come on, St. Louis, give us 100% capacity.
We got 30,000 coming in for the Cubs.
28 to 30. It's like 28,000 on May 21st.
And
but that would be a sellout if we had the opportunity.
And they're getting involved in the vaccine for tickets thing. Remember when we were talking about that last week? What is it, 2 tickets for a Cardinal game if you get vaccinated?
Yes.
Okay. I think by the end of summer, you're going to see 45,000 people at Busch Stadium. There's no doubt about it.
We got I'm hoping by June, now that we got the message that COVID is over.
Yeah.
Boston and the East Coast is going 100% attendance before St. Louis is. I mean, really?
Ooh, what a great point from the Facebook line.
What
the new term, breakthrough cases. That's going to be the new thing they're putting in your teleprompters.
What are breakthrough cases?
You get COVID, and you get inoculated, fully vaccinated, and boom, you get COVID-19.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of those
cases. So my question is this:
breakthrough cases.
How? Well, he's right. He's absolutely right. How do you,
David Perron?
Yeah. How are they doing?
The Blues.
How are they doing?
All we know is he's in NHL protocol, COVID protocol. He missed last night's game. They desperately needed him, and we don't know if he's going to get to play in the next game.
Oh, what about the Yanks?
I haven't kept in touch with them. I don't know.
I think it's a good thing to ask. I think this might speak directly to what Naputi says, and Tabitha for that matter. You get inoculated, you can still get COVID-19, but maybe you have no symptoms. Isn't that what we wanted?
What we
This
wanted.
is actually good news.
No, what we wanted is for people to have COVID, the people who have healthy, strong immune systems, to have COVID naturally and build up their own antibodies and become resistant to the virus. That's how you build herd immunity. This vaccine does not build herd immunity. It keeps people out of the ICU if they have severe symptoms. And now we're being told that that only may happen because people with weakened immune systems, the vaccine may not even help them at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is the vaccine for? Wait a minute. Who is it that's supposed to get this vaccine?
Because we want
that it's gonna help?
answers.
We do want answers,
especially American
and we need
society.
answers.
We want meaning. Well, we need to know that are we doing the right thing? Are we okay? We're always looking to somebody to tell us what to do. Okay, that's all
Instead
right.
of using
This
our
is-
own common
the mask,
sense.
The mask is going to work. Okay, the vaccine. Okay, and then we get forced to get vaccines, or we're forced to do things that we don't want
Let
to do.
me ask you a question, Vic. Let's say, because he's right. This is the new thing. It's coming. It's not there yet, but it's coming. Today in St. Louis, there have been 300 breakthrough cases, fully vaccinated St. Louisans. None of them have gone to a hospital. None of them have died, and they all seem to have no symptoms. That could be a good thing as well. Okay, you might have gotten vaccinated, and like Tabitha has been saying for the last half a year, if you get the vaccine, you still can get COVID, but you're not going to get the cytokine storm. You're not going to be in the hospital. You're not going to.
Some people, not all people, in some people.
But it's going to help alleviate a lot of the bad problems,
in
right?
Some people, but the majority of the people who really needed the alleviation of those symptoms that have the compromised immune systems, now we're reading these reports that those people actually are getting sick from COVID, having severe symptoms even after they've been vaccinated. Because their immune systems are not
I want to
healthy.
see that. I haven't seen any of that stuff yet.
Well, here's some good news, Eric, from the Facebook line, as we like to talk about. You like Hollywood Amphitheater, right? You like to go out to some concerts, right? Well, the
Mhm.
Hollywood Casino Amphitheater opening up end of July.
Right.
Full capacity, I believe. We were told we won't open unless we are 100%. And you can put 19,000 people in. And I've been there when there's been at least 19,000 people.
That's a full bill. That's a full boat.
By end of July. Wish it was earlier, but that's where you are. And, we're starting to see some of it. The Blues playing Colorado last night.
Then why doesn't
it look like their stadium was full of people?
What?
Much more than what the 9,000 the Blues are going to get when they come home for Game 3.
They got to fill this place up. What's wrong with you, St. Louis? Come on.
Because it's indoors.
So what?
I know. Because
so what?
COVID spreads in the air.
So what?
It's
arena.
airborne.
I think of an arena still as outdoors. It's got the high roof.
It spreads in the air?
That's what we're told.
How many cases, I would love to know, have been spread throughout when a person is outside? I will bet you there will be practically zero.
There's no way that the SEC next year is having any limitations on their stadiums. There's no way.
Hey, Chris, this is a great idea. Do you feel like doing a call?
Sure.
To Schnucks and ask them if their employees have to wear masks?
Yeah.
Are you going to take down the plexiglass,
Do
too?
mask apply to employees? And if so, why?
If the employees have to wear masks,
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Whether you're wanting them to or not. That was from the Facebook line. Just in case. I know
It's up
you
to
were
you.
looking.
What do you
It's up
want
to
to do?
you.
Well,
get
it's up to
a
you.
number. I'll talk to him.
You're the guy.
You want to talk
you're
to
the
him,
guy.
Eric?
Yeah, I just want to find out if that's because I'm done with the plexiglass too. I don't know about you guys.
There's still plexiglass?
Oh God, yeah.
Where?
In Schnucks.
Not at my Schnucks. Well,
I'll take a picture for you. It sucks.
I don't care about the plexiglass.
I do.
No,
I
it's
just care
terrible
about
in
breathing like
restaurants.
a free
the
person.
plexiglass in restaurants. That was.
No, that's
I never
terrible.
saw that. I never saw the
it's
plexiglass.
terrible.
In the
Or the
restaurant.
bars where you can't have a bar stool at the bar.
That's all changed.
I mean, that's insane.
Now I did hear.
No, it's different.
Look.
And I had dinner with my friend Saturday night at a newer place in front, Uncle Julio's, a Mexican place, and there was no glass. It was the first
That's
time I'd
good.
been out in a while. I was like, he and I just were, had dinner at the bar for a couple hours.
Let's call Helen Fitzgerald's. That's a St. Louis County place. I heard they're having live
They're
bands.
closed.
Helen Fitzgerald's is closed right now.
It's 9:45 in the
They
morning.
do
man.
lunch
9:45
runs.
in the morning.
They do lunch over there. They got to have somebody over there.
They just closed like 5 hours ago, man.
Anyway,
All right, here we go.
why would you have full bands coming back to St. Louis County if you couldn't have full crowds?
Here you go,
I
Eric.
agree. None of it adds up.
Eric,
It
we're
never
calling
has, Eric.
We're calling Schnucks in Winsville, Eric, so
Thank
you
you for
deal
calling
with this.
CVS Pharmacy. To check if the COVID-19 vaccine is available
You
in
called
a
the
store near
pharmacy
you,
over at Schnucks.
visit cvs.com.
Okay.
Try another one. First, we'll ask them what the price of meat is first.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, by the way, Amy Stuttle, who we had on yesterday, Victory Men's Health. Remember when she was she basically got canceled by Instagram because she was going after Chrissy Teigen. Now everybody's canceling Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah.
Well, Candace Owens reposted Amy's stuff yesterday saying that she was going to be on the Viper. So, yeah, she put this on the Viper yesterday, or she put this on the Instagram page when she came back.
Nice.
And Candace Owens reposted her stuff again yesterday.
Well, that was really nice.
It has
Very nice of
yeah,
her.
Yeah.
So Amy's blowing up all over the country right now.
Remember there are these rock stars that come out of nowhere. The first one was the hairdresser out of Texas. Remember that? Where she let people in her into her hair.
Yes, I do.
And then there was with the Nancy Pelosi debacle in San Francisco. They made him like public enemy number one because they let Nancy Pelosi into the hairstyling place. And then let's see, there was the lady who owned the restaurant in Los Angeles that had the film crew right next door. Remember, she became a rock star. Well, Amy Stuttle, if you want it, it's there for the taking, my friend. Go get yourself go get a few national interviews, maybe Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson.
She's too busy taking care of men in our community.
Thank you for calling CVS
Hold on,
Pharmacy.
we got to do this.
That didn't
This
sound
is the
right.
bonus.
Check if the COVID-19
She's helping them
vaccine is
get a
available in a
boost.
store near
Okay,
you.
yes, that's
Visit
right.
CVS.
Oh, God.
I am sorry, that was not a valid entry.
Chris, are you having a problem
To
calling
check if the COVID-19 vaccine is available in a store near you, visit cvs.com/coronavirus. For additional info on availability and how to schedule an appointment, press 1.
You need an appointment to get
If you are calling with
coronavirus?
other COVID-19 vaccine or testing questions, press 2. All other callers, press 3.
Are you calling doctor's office?
Thank
or
you for
Schnucks?
calling CVS
I'm trying to get a
Pharmacy,
hold
located
of
within
Why
Schnucks,
CVS?
Wentzville.
1960 Wentzville Parkway, Wentzville, Missouri.
Yeah.
If you are a healthcare provider or calling from a doctor's office, press 2
We're
now.
in the pharmacy line. We're in the pharmacy line.
I love it.
All right.
Oh,
Here
man.
we go. Vic.
Yeah.
Vic's got
Yes.
one.
Just call that number.
This is Dr. Johnson. I'm looking for him.
Let's see if this. I think this might help.
There you go.
We'll see if this works or not. I know that people were wanting to hear it. We've got about
Welcome to Schnucks.
five.
For
There you go,
COVID-19
Chris.
testing and vaccine information, please visit www.cvs.com.
Who did the
Our store
voiceover?
hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
I need to get
We
that
have
work.
Can you
reserved
sound
the
any
6
less
a.m.
human?
to 7 a.m. shopping hours on Mondays. And for a list of departments, press 1.
The people
To reach
department. Where are the
CVS
people?
Pharmacy, press 2. For all other questions, press 0 or remain on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Schnucks on Mid Rivers. This is Cameron. Can I help you?
On Mid Rivers, how are you doing? Hey, I just had a question. Now that you don't have to wear a mask as a customer, are your employees still wearing masks? And have you guys taken down the plexiglass crap that you guys had before?
The plexiglass is still up, but I just found out today when I came in that after this weekend, if our employees are fully vaccinated, we don't have to wear masks anymore.
Is that considered a vaccine passport for them in a way?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they actually have to show a vaccine?
Oh, no. I mean,
Or is it an
I think
honor
it's more
system?
of like an honor.
Okay.
Like, it's on your honor. Like, if you have the vaccine, we're going to take you on your word that you got the vaccine. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to, like, make you pull out.
Whoa.
Do you feel liberated? Do you feel liberated now that you don't have to wear the
The
mask?
restrictions are finally starting to, like, lift up. It's starting to feel good.
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. I'm so happy for it. Now,
you got the vaccine, man?
Yeah.
I got the first shot. I still got to get the second one.
You
though.
going to get it, or are you going to say no?
No, I'm going to get it.
Are you?
Yeah, because, I mean, like, I've already got the first half of it, so.
Did you get
Might
COVID?
as well get it all.
Did you get COVID?
Yeah.
Did you get COVID-19?
I did not.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
So at Schnucks, you don't have to wear a mask. Employees don't have to wear a mask. All we need is that the
Because
plexiglass to
everyone's
come down.
been vaccinated.
Brandon was an
Yeah,
awesome call.
On the
He's good.
on the contingency that everybody's vaccinated.
Okay.
Like if you get the full vaccination, it's going to be on your word whether or not you want to wear a mask.
Even people like me, who is a trans vaccite, where I identify as somebody who's been vaccinated, even though I've not been vaccinated.
Hey, what's your name, man?
Cameron.
Cameron, all right. It's Chris, Eric, Vic, Tab. We're on the morning show at 100.7 The Viper. We just wanted to call you just to confirm that you don't have to wear a mask in Schnucks.
Yes.
That's fantastic, man. You've done a great job. You should be working in their PR department.
That's right.
No kidding.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate the time. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
What a nice guy.
All I know is every call you've done to everybody that you spoke to, PR these days, has been outstanding.
It's been really good.
They really are. Wow.
These millennials know how to talk. They really do.
They do?
Well,
how do you know it was a millennial?
He sounded millennial.
I'm glad he's getting his other shot. We don't want his DNA to be like half changed and not changed all the way.
Oh, my God. They start turning into lizards
but I
behind
figured
them.
I better just leave that alone.
His DNA has not been altered enough.
I mean, if you don't get that second shot, it may not be complete.
I think you threw him.
Finish
The
him.
only time he was really quiet was when you said,
A transvaxite?
I'm a transvaxite.
Right. He was pulling something
I
out.
identify as somebody who's had a vaccine.
I would like to know what he was
I think his
pulling
heart
out.
skipped a beat. We got a break.
We'll be right back with more Edge. Don't go anywhere. Share the show 100.7 The Viper.
$27 per square foot, $20 mil at $297 a square foot. Nylon residential super dense carpet is just $287 per square foot installed over 8-pound lifetime Mohawk cushion. Dreamweaver Frisee carpet at 99 cents a square foot. Contractors Flooring next to New World King in Warrington.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. And there he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. Puff bars and disposables now available.
Get a grip on your finances with People's Bank and Trust's new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills with ease and all from the palm of your hand. Activate your phone today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Okay, we got 1 minute left. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, guys. Hey, is this real? Okay, guys, let me read this. Remember Coffee Anderson we've had on the show?
Yeah.
Of course.
He's going to be playing in the Ozarks this summer. I know I got your attention, Eric. You looked at me like I look at you sometimes when you say something. I'm like, Shady Gators just put this out. Don't miss our first show of the summer this Saturday, May 22nd. Holy crap. This week, Coffee Anderson takes the stage.
What dates?
It says May 22nd.
Really? That's coming
That
up.
sucks because we're there the week after that.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
Damn it.
He's the star of the Netflix series Country Ever After. So he's going to be here along with Erica Sunshine Lee Music to kick off our summer concert series.
Wow,
all new
that
Lazy
sucks.
Gators Pizza will be making its debut as well.
That's very
Yum, yum.
good.
Maybe we need to
Very
grab
good.
Dr. Naputi and head out for the night.
Holy, I guarantee Naputi knows. He might be staying at Naputi's. Coffee Anderson all the way from California?
Well,
Exciting.
the concert series
He's
at
gonna be
Lazy
at Shady-
Gators is great. They
Yeah.
do a good job.
Shady Gators, May 22nd. What day is that? This Saturday. Saturday. Holy crap.
I think we should all go. Except for Chris. He'll be in
I'll be in
Florida.
Los Angeles.
Eric will be in Los Angeles.
I'll be
so
looking.
I
Eric
guess
will
we're
be
not
in
going.
L.A. Chris is going to be in Florida. My, oh my. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us. Sorry, maybe we'll try to catch up. Maybe we'll try to catch up with Coffee. Get him for an interview tomorrow.
I think that's a great idea.
Let you know how his wife is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust from Fox 2. See you tonight for Fox 2 News at 5 and 9. Chris, I am wearing all blue. It's all like my royal blue suit.
Yeah.
At Tom James with the royal
Sweet.
blue tie. We'll see you tonight for the show.
KFNS-FM, Troy, St. Charles, and the Westplex. 100.7 FM, The Viper. Legendary rock that really rocks.